So in this part we're going to make some color adjustments before jumping into the final touches. This process is oftentimes kind of weird and comes with a lot of trying out and trial and error. So I made a layer on top of all the colors and I filled it with this lavender color tone, and I'm basically just flipping through the layer modes just to see what else might be in there. So the point is that I'm not completely satisfied with how the character combines with the background. So I think I need to make some tweaks, but I'm not quite sure which direction I'm going to take. So I oftentimes just put a layer on top of a part and then try out different layer modes till I find something I like. I also add a shadow in the background layer to ground the character. So I use a layer and set it to multiply and just draw with the lavenderish tone to make like a little cast shadow of the character on the ground. And what's happening now is that it's really more like exploring. So I made a copy of the background layer and tried to adjust the values like saturation, try to adjust the color, just tweak it a bit here and there and try it to where it leads me. So in this stage you can see that it's not that purplish anymore. So there's more contrast to the character. And once I'm kind of satisfied, I make a copy of that layer and I use the Gaussian blur to add a blur effect to create a bit more depth. And like the camera is focusing on the character, so the background is getting a bit unsharp. And then I kind of erase the part which is on the same layer as the character. But there still isn't enough contrast between the character and the background, so I make a layer over the background and I fill it with a blue I picked from the reference pictures, and I just flip through the layer modes to find something I like. And there are these two directions I like. I like this kind of pink situation and the dark blue situation because it makes it a bit more cold and more mystic. And I think I'm going to settle somewhere there and try to work a bit on it from there. And now that I'm watching this while trying to put my thoughts together, it's very hard to explain what I'm doing. Basically, I try to unify the piece a bit to create an overall mood. Therefore, I oftentimes create a new layer on top of the character and the background and try different blending modes for the layer so that every piece gets a bit of this color, so the whole thing becomes a bit more unified. And I oftentimes just check with the layer on top, which is black and set to saturation, to see if the values work and if there's enough contrast in the different parts. And it really just takes some time to figure stuff out. I always use layer modes like multiply, soft or hard light, or color dodge. Those are basically the fourth I use most often. And it's always nice to just tweak the image a bit into a certain direction and see what you can come up with and create a certain mood with these layer modes. So I'm going to settle for this bluish dark wood version, and we're going to put on some final touches in the next video.